So, most memorable ROTC moment goes back to freshman year, actually, fall FTX at Camp Sherman. Um, we just got done with like PMI, so I was in the porta-john right next to that, and it was broke, and so it doesn't lock. So I'm going, and I had to take a number two, and when I got done, I I wiped, stood up, of course, and pull my underwear up, and I go to grab my pants, and I hear the door open, and it's Lieutenant Colonel Lee, and he goes, "Oh, hey there." Just me and my underwear. So, most memorable moment, first time meeting the Colonel, was in a porta-john.
I'll say my most memorable moment from ROTC was this one time at advanced camp. It started raining, and it was like pissing rain down on us. And we were like just sitting there in standing water, and it was lightning, and we were just kind of miserable. And for whatever reason, I started having this chant, quarter master, and it kind of spread through the whole platoon, and the whole platoon just started yelling, quarter master. And it was just kind of funny because it was just something to kind of relieve the tension of just sitting there as we were just getting pissed on in rain, just being miserable. It was kind of a fun time, one of the fun times at camp.
My most memorable ROTC moment would probably be when during our MS3 weekend, I got taped up with a bunch of cardboard boxes and got shot up a lot in the face, not the cardboard.
I would say just coming in a year later than everybody else, how welcoming not just this class but the whole entire battalion has been. That's probably the most memorable thing.
All right. My most memorable ROTC moment was sophomore year, our FTX at Camp Ravenna. We were in the cold. It snowed that night, and the next morning we had an ambush lane, and I remember Isaac and I were lying there in the cold on the wet snow for about 6 hours because our PL couldn't find the right location, and so we were just waiting for her, and then the OPFOR couldn't find us, and that was the most cold I will ever be. And then we went inside, of course, that night, and it happened to be colder inside the barracks than outside. The roof was open, so it was actually snowing on us while we were sleeping. So definitely a good experience.
So, memorable moment. So, I have two that come to mind. First one would be when Sergeant Sleece threw a 25-pound plate at my face and busted my nose open. Great time, good day. Second one would be during one of our sticks lanes when Gage called Bellows a because he told us to do something stupid. Never forget that.
Most memorable ROTC moment. So I think one of my favorites was doing the GAFP competition this past fall as the OIC. It was really rewarding and just kind of an overall experience that my entire fall semester was dedicated to. So it was really rewarding again to have that all come together and see so many people enjoy it and put together a good event. But other than that, I think on a more fun note was our Gettysburg trip. Just getting close with our class and kind of the things we did together, it really brought us all closer. So we had a really good time there, and I can't really tell too many of those stories.
Most memorable ROTC moment. So there was probably our second platoon lane ever, and I was in Damut's squad, and Bellows was our platoon sergeant, and we were doing an attack, and like we lined up like in this big long line, and shit started hitting the fan. Everything was going around, and Bellows said, "Just go out into the open and crawl out in the open." And Gage verbatim, and I quote, "I'm not going out in the open under fire, you." And that made us all laugh. And I yelled at Gage for not listening to Bellows, but it turned out okay. Mr. Cooker got a good first impression of us, so that's how it went.
All right, so my most memorable ROTC moment is rooming with Turkey Tom. I'll miss you, bud.
So I have two embarrassing stories.
in my ROTC career. One being CTLT with Gage in South Korea. Gage will probably laugh at this. I almost got kidnapped in Seoul from a taxi, so that was a fun night that I'll never forget, and I'm sure my parents watching this will put a GPS tracker on me. So as far as the other one, oh gosh, so I was working on period vowels for class, and one of the things we like to do at our household is kind of do like fake ones. So I'm like, Ben, blah blah blah, this is what you should improve at, this is what you should sustain. Something completely unrelated, and I might have done one or two inappropriate ones. And I also might have forgot to change them when I did the real ones. So Colonel Amsdale got a pretty nice email from me one night that I regret. I'm sorry, but I think we bond well, so that's all I got.
I tell a story a lot sometimes, but it was when the brigade sergeant major came down with like the brigade commander, and we were like trying to flex on them at PT, and with my luck I got paired up with the battalion sergeant major, and I don't know what happened, but I guess like I didn't drink enough water the night before, like wasn't eating right, but like I passed out like mid-workout with him as my workout partner, and I like woke up to like Master Sergeant Fonstock over me and like the brigade sergeant major over me, and they were basically like the first words out of Master Sergeant's mouth was, Rothermid, like I swear to God, if you pass out on me again, I'm gonna shove a camelback up your ass. Like just press down. And let's just say that was my first impression of him. It was kind of terrifying, and yeah, that was probably my most embarrassing moment in ROTC.
Okay, my most memorable ROTC moment easily is fall FTX last year, junior year. It poured the entire time. We were out Friday night for our patrol base, and they picked a actual mud puddle for us to sleep in, all of us. There was not a speck of dry dirt anywhere, and we all bed down for the night. We're all soaked head to toe. Nobody even bothered to change. Nobody brought enough socks. Everybody was miserable. Me, Conklin, and Reed ended up together in a hooch, and we woke up in the morning, and I was literally blowing bubbles in the water because we were underwater and drenched. Our hooch had fallen down. It was laying on the sides of our faces. It didn't even matter. It was just a wet blanket at that point. But Lieutenant Colonel Lee gracefully walked over to us in the morning and lifted the wet poncho off the sides of our faces and just gently told us, you guys suck. Please learn how to build a hooch. Dropped the poncho back onto our faces and walked away.
Moments, plural, from ROTC would be briefly leaving the program, and then the day I came back to PT and I saw the smiling faces or the jaws dropped whenever I came back. I think that'd be the most memorable experience of ROTC.
Most memorable ROTC moment, Stepka giving me my tattoo, for sure. Nice little paw print.
Most memorable ROTC moment, I would have to say it would be junior year when we were setting up a patrol base at FTX. Lieutenant Colonel Lee walked down the line and asked everybody how they slept. It was a terrible night, it was wet, cold, and everybody was like, good sir, you know. And my one friend, Cadet LaRubio, he straight up said, not a
All right, most memorable ROTC moment. Probably have to be on this day, March 5th, approximately 7:10 this morning, Captain Tilton backed into my truck. He lives at University Courtyard, I live at University Courtyard, and he just backed into me. Left a huge dent in his car, and didn't even leave a scratch on my truck. Take two, though. Ready?
Yep.
Second most memorable moment that I was actually going to do before Captain Tilton rear-ended me was when we did FTX with OSU sophomore year, so 2 years ago. That was when we did the Civil War at the end, when Lieutenant Colonel Lee was just like, screw it. We're just going to have everyone go at it. And OSU tried to dig in with defenses while OU proceeded forward. And I just remember it was me, Will Davis, and Connor Regan just sprinting forward with basically doing IMTs with each other, just sprinting forward. And then I said, Will, watch this. He covered me. I jumped over their line and just started popping them all in the back. And I just remember OSU's match sergeant just looked at me and was like, just stop. They're all dead. Move on. So I turn around and I look to my left, and there's Manzarek, like 5'5", 200-pound Manzarek, just jacked out of his mind, carrying plywood, covering people while he's moving forward with this plywood. And then we all started shouting, push him in the river! So that was a good time.
So my most embarrassing moment, I thought Cadet Fitz was walking into the lounge behind me, but it was the Colonel. And I said something that I still lose sleep over.
So my most memorable ROTC moment would probably be Mamos, because I don't remember it at all. And only a select few people would understand what I'm saying, so yeah.
Okay. So, most memorable moment, our whole battalion lit up all the OSU cadets with paintball guns at Ravenna 2 years ago and literally made them surrender to us.
My most memorable moment of ROTC. I actually have two. So, the first one was, this is kind of a bad thing, but spring FTX at Ravenna. It was, if anybody who was there knows, it was like probably the coldest experience of their entire lives. But there was one time where we had hot chow and we had like pasta or something. And I remember the tax in our bay brought in leftovers, like when it was near nighttime. And they tossed this pan of pasta on the ground and gave us like 3 forks. And there was, I think, 10 of us crowded around it, eating straight from the actual pan itself. And we were just scarfing it down because like we were starving. Because that was the first hot chow we had in a while. So that's the first one. And then the second most memorable moment. So Lashinsky was passed out drunk at Colbert and I's house junior year, and we decided to have a little fun with that. So we got in full PTs, and we took his phone, we changed the time on it to like 5:45. Actually, no, it was like 5:50, and we added an alarm, and then we like waited at the top of the stairs, and once we heard the alarm come off, we ran downstairs and started shaking him, and we were like, dude, come on, like we got to go to PT, because it was actually a PT day the next day. Go figure. And we kept shaking him, and he was so discombobulated, and so he believed it 100%. So we were in our PTs. I'm pretty sure we were wearing like flip-flops and Uggs and stuff, like, and he didn't even realize. And we ran out to my car, and like I turned to Isaac and I was like, we got to go all the way with this. And so we drove him to his house. We were like, dude, you got to go. We're gonna be late because of you. And he sprints inside, gets his PTs on. He's like tripping, like falling, dropping stuff, and he gets in the car, and Isaac's recording the whole time, and like he doesn't, like Lashinsky doesn't expect a thing or suspect a thing, and then we drive, like while we're driving to Walter Fieldhouse, he notices that my clock in my car says 11:30 or whatever, because that's what the actual time was. And so I told him, I was like, oh, like my battery, like I changed the terminals on the battery and it reset the clock, and he completely believed it. And then we got to Walter Fieldhouse. Colbert and him sprinted inside. There's no cars there or anything. Like it was, I don't understand how he didn't recognize it. And he got inside, and Colbert kept saying like, Ben's right over there, and like Lashinsky was like, I don't see it, I don't see him. And then he finally told him what was going on. But I think that lasted like a total of like 45 minutes, just that whole whole experience. But so that was fun. I probably have other memories, but most of them are probably surrounded around Lashinsky.
I would definitely say that my most memorable moment is when it snowed inside of the barracks that we were in during my sophomore year of JFTX. I will forever complain about that, and I will never let it go because that was an awful night, and OSU's solution was to buy us socks. So I will forever complain about the night that it snowed inside.
Don't work too hard. You always gotta find your me time, as the colonel says, and a good time to relax and enjoy yourself.
So the best advice I can give to the rest of the battalion is be a good team player. Just always helping out your fellow classmates and even those who aren't in your class whenever you can. And it doesn't have to be big things like helping them out on projects or homework. It can be little things like staying behind during the PT test to cheer them on or run with them. Little things like that I think really go far to build a team, and it means a lot to those people. Even if they don't tell you, it means a lot to them when you do those things for them. And it really brings you together as a battalion and as a team.
Advice I would leave with the rest of the battalion. Personally, read books. Read a lot of books. That's one of the few things you can do outside of normal ROTC things that can develop yourself.
What advice would I leave for the rest of the battalion? Read doctrine, even though you don't want to. It'll help out.
Some advice I would leave for the rest of the battalion. I have one serious and one not. Not serious, I would say spend as much time as you possibly can in Bromley. The things you will hear, the outfits you will see, the faces of disappointment, of regret. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anything better than that. You know, if you can even stay a night, go for it. There's zombies here, so I'd be scared. Serious, go into everything with a positive attitude. A lot of this stuff, it's tiring, uses up a lot of time that you may think will be free time and then end up not. So just go into everything, with a smile on your face, and you'll come out better than when you got here.
My advice would definitely be to use this time here to figure out what kind of leader you're going to be and how you're going to lead. There's people with plenty of experience here to help you learn how the Army works and how to be an effective leader. So definitely take advantage of that.
Advice I would leave with the rest of the battalion. I definitely have learned kind of the power of influence and how rewarding it can be to help other people. As an MS4 this year, and even all through my years, just being able to help others has really made an impact on me. And so for anybody coming into the program or that's been here and continuing, I would just say make an impact and really try to help out people around you. It's been, again, really rewarding.
What advice would you leave with the rest of the battalion? I think it's just to have fun. Just have fun with ROTC, have fun with your friends, because it really does go by really, really fast, and all of a sudden you're on the cusp of graduating, or not graduating, depending on who you are.
Advice to give to the rest of the battalion is take advantage of your time here because it goes way too fast.
Work for what you want. If you want something, you got to go get it. There's not a lot of stuff nowadays that's just handed to you. So work hard and keep faith in whatever you're doing. So I would say that's my takeaway for the serious stuff, or the advice I would leave.
My advice is enjoy stuff other than ROTC outside of the battalion. We have a great program here, but also we have a great campus and great college with great organizations, great events. So I suggest get out there, do intramurals, join a fraternity, whatever it is. Just expand your sphere of influence, I would say.
especially here at OU, because like those are connections you're gonna bring with after you get out, because the Army's not there forever. I mean, for some people it is, but like for most, like you gotta build that network.
What advice would I leave with the rest of the battalion? I think the best piece of advice that I can give that I wish would have been given to me is to go after what you want. Don't settle, especially if somebody tells you where they think you belong or where they think that you're most molded to be. If your gut is telling you something, go for it. Your gut is always going to be right. If your head is worried, if you're anxious, if you second guess yourself, just go with your gut. Trust your gut. I wouldn't be the XO right now if I wouldn't have gone with my gut, and it's the best thing that's happened to me since I've been in this program. So trust yourself and your intuition. Yeah, that's my advice.
I would have to say, have fun. Don't take it too serious, but also set yourself up for success. That would be it.
My advice would be to fly the plane. Always keep flying the plane.
What advice would you leave with the rest of the battalion? I would have to say, don't compare yourself to other people. I think ROTC, a lot of people get caught up in comparing themselves to their peers, and I don't think that really enables themselves to grow as a leader in some cases.
What advice would I leave with the rest of the battalion? Take your work seriously, but don't take life seriously. I've learned that over the past couple of years.
Advice I would give to the rest of the battalion: go to class and do your homework.
What advice would I leave with the rest of the battalion? Threes, you guys are basically, there's not much left we can give you. You're on your own after this. But the MS1s and 2s, I want you guys to understand that you guys have a choice and you guys can dictate how the semester is ran. Don't be bulldozed. Just don't be bulldozed, and just understand you guys actually have a choice as to how things are going.
And then advice: don't be don't be nothing that's not attached to your body.
Let's see. What advice would you leave with the rest of the battalion? So this is something that I will regret till the day I die, but I waited until junior year to try fusion for the first time. And since then, this is kind of an addiction of mine, but since then, I think I've gone probably 1,000 times. I would go 3 to 4 times a week, pretty much getting the same thing. And anybody who's had it can pretty much attest that it's worth it. Other than that, I would say don't stress on the small things. Life goes on. That's kind of my saying. That's what gets me through hard days. You want to make sure that you realize the big picture and that like each day is still going to pass and things will get better, even if they're at their worst, because I know they will be at some point. But yeah, that's probably the advice I give.
What advice would I leave with the rest of the battalion? I would say not to go so fast. For some reason, we have so many kids that want to graduate in 3 years now. And I get it. It's a lot of money to go here. And nobody wants to be here for 5 years. But I don't know. I feel like you miss out on a lot. Like, you rush yourself. You try to do too much too fast. You want to get out into the world and be an adult. But when you really think about it, when you get to be a senior, being adult sucks a lot more than you would have ever thought. Even though you know it sucks more. So I would say not to rush too fast into graduating and being adult, because it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Grow your hair out until they out you.
My spirit animal, I actually just came up with this the other day. My spirit animal is a dolphin, because I've been swimming around with the great white shark for about 6 years now, And you guys may be terrified of her, but you know I can handle it. um,
Spirit animal. My spirit animal is 100% Daisy Booth.
My spirit animal is obviously a golden retriever.
My spirit animal is the javelina.
My spirit animal is probably a snake. For most of you who don't know, I have a pet snake named Jed. He is always a party favorite. People love to say hi to him. And, you know, snakes are, you know, they adapt. They're cold-blooded. You know, when they're cold, they move to a hot location. When they're hot, they move to a cold location. You know, I feel like I embody that. Very adaptable, you know, willing to work with anybody. Shout out Morgan Conklin. But, you know, yeah, I'd say snake is definitely my spirit animal.
Okay, so my spirit animal, put a lot of thought into this one. Definitely gonna have to go with a bull, because if you leave me alone and let me do my own thing out in the grassy pasture, it'll be fine. But if you mess with me or you piss me off, I will definitely hurt you.
My spirit animal. What's my spirit animal? I think I'm a red panda. I don't know why. I suppose it's a comforting animal, I suppose. So I'm gonna go with that. That's all.
What's my spirit animal? This is a tough one. Probably a wild Mustang horse on the plains of Montana. Yeah, that's what it is.
And then my spirit animal is a tiger.
I'm gonna say peacock. Because you gotta let me fly.
And then spirit animal, probably raccoon, because I stay up late. I got like a lot of dark bags underneath my eyes. I eat trash. Kind of might have rabies.
Oh, my spirit animal. Well, as a wise Mary Flawless once said when I was a freshman in her video, I'm like an elephant, largish and in charge-ish all the time.
What's your spirit animal? A goat or a ram? They don't care about nothing. They're super headstrong, and they will literally just headbutt you if they don't like you. Headbutt, cram. And go about their day. They don't care. No concussions.
My spirit animal, definitely the almighty guinea pig. Nothing tops it. Most vicious animal on the earth.
My spirit animal is a hyena.
What's your spirit animal? I'd like to think it'd be a red-tailed hawk, but it's probably more like a turkey. A lot of people call me Turkey Tom. They're slow. Don't get off the ground very easy.
I was told my spirit animal is Shrek, the ogre. I'd prefer to live by myself. I don't really like people and villagers. And I'm like an onion. I'm not a bad guy, but you just have to peel back the layers first. And I have a lot of earwax. My best friend's an ass.
My spirit animal, according to the spirit animal quiz that I just took 5 minutes ago, I am a wolf. So.
What's my spirit animal? So, low key, I took a quiz because I didn't know what it was. And one told me I was either an eagle, and then the other one told me I was a turtle. Well, I have a tattoo of a turtle on my ankle, so I'm just going to go with that. And because I like being slow on purpose, and if I can just swim slowly in the ocean for the rest of my life, that'd be awesome.
And then my spirit animal, I'd say a bear because, I don't know, an online survey told me so.
What's your spirit animal? I would have to say my spirit animal, it's probably a tie between a mantis shrimp and an otter. Otters are by far the best animal in existence, and if you say otherwise, then we can talk in private. They're also versatile. And then mantis shrimp, like, mantis shrimp, they swing and they're like they throw a punch and they actually create like this heat vortex that can kill basically anything. It's nuts. Like they punch faster than the speed of light. It's crazy. So that's pretty cool.
So I know it's not an animal, but my parents are gonna be at Millball and they're gonna be super salty if I don't say that my spirit animal is a cactus. There's a long story that goes behind it, but we're just gonna leave it at cactus, and that's for my parents.
Favorite cadre member has to go out to Massart. He's goofy and slower than me, so it's my favorite thing about him.
My favorite cadre member is definitely Master Sergeant Rowe, because he's the only cadre member I ever had that I didn't have to look down to talk to him, which I always really appreciated. There's very rare instances I've had that in my life.
And my favorite cadre member was the great and almighty Nicholas Cooker.
And my favorite cadre member is Mr. Cooker.
My favorite cadre member, this is a tough one. I think I got to go with Major Goodell. There is not a single person here who I try and mess with more than him. And really, it's just to get a smile out of him, because if you know him and you see him every day, you'll notice that he's got a very good resting bitch face, as they say. And anytime I can get a joke out of him, get him to laugh, makes it a little bit better.
Favorite cadre member? It's definitely not Master Sergeant Rowe. Just kidding. It's totally Master Sergeant Rowe. He's a great role model, great mentor. Yep, definitely him.
My favorite cadre member, I think Colonel Amsdale's had the most impact on me this year. As being the battalion commander this spring semester, we've had our fair share at some good conversation. We're pretty like-minded, and I think we really see eye to eye on a lot of things, but also he's taught me just kind of the dichotomy of being a leader and the good and bad things that you have to deal with. And I've just really learned a lot. He's been a really good mentor to me. So I think that relationship I've had with the colonel has built a good foundation for me to become a lieutenant. So we've had some good times.
And my favorite cadre member, probably Mr. Cooker. He taught me a lot. Like when I came, like I tried to gain as much as I could as a 2, a 1, and in the first half of my 3 year. But Mr. Cooker kind of was, and I think I speak for a lot of our class when I say he was kind of our saving grace. Like he taught us a lot of good stuff. So yeah, he probably was.
And my favorite cadre member is Master Sergeant Rowe.
I don't know. I don't really have a. I wouldn't say I don't really have a favorite, to be honest with you, but I don't know. They're all good equally in their own ways. Gosh, I really don't know. Sorry, working on a school project. But Casper's a friendly ghost somehow. Honestly, all of them. They all bring a good piece to the table, and I learned things from all of them. So I wouldn't say there's a favorite, but shout out to Matt Sarn for sticking around for 4 years. So thanks.
Favorite cadre member. So I got 2 of these. One's for mentorship. I'd probably have to say Major Johnson. Really helped me a lot with just personal development and then aviation as well. But my favorite cadre member, just as a jokester, was probably Sergeant Carl. That man was just a walking meme page. So definitely sad that he's not here anymore. But yeah, if you know Sergeant Carl.
My favorite cadre member, oh my god, too easy. Everybody can guess. Master Sergeant Rowe, you're a real one. Since day one, yes, it took me 2 whole years to work up the courage to come talk to you and make eye contact with you also. But so worth it. You've been an incredible mentor to me. I've learned an immense amount from you. I respect you tremendously. I'm really excited to hopefully take on Korea with you next year. And I know that you'll always be in my corner. So thank you for everything.
Favorite cadre member? Major Burnett. On a serious note, all the cadre from this year are fantastic. They've all helped me set up myself for success in the future.
Favorite cadre member? Either Mr. Cooker or Captain Tilton.
My favorite cadre member is, or was, Mr. Cooker.
My favorite cadre member, I have to say hands down, Sergeant Carl, one of the most chill guys ever.
Favorite cadre member is definitely Sergeant Carl.
My favorite cadre member is Master Sergeant Rowe because he's a jokester.
And then my favorite cadre member would definitely be Master Sergeant, just because he is probably the most genuine cadre member here. Sorry, everybody else, kind of. And he's just always been there. He's seen us from beginning to end, and it's cool that he's able to lead the program with us.
And then favorite cadre member, I'd say Master Sergeant, because he's kind of been here since day one, like freshman year. So I'd say that's it.
Oh, favorite cadre member. So I can tell you as of now, it's probably not Lieutenant Colonel Lee, because even my junior year, I went in and he said, "Welcome to the program," even though I sat next to him every single training meeting for like 4 months, literally 3 feet away from him, and he didn't know who I was. But I think my favorite cadre member has to be Major Johnson by a long shot. Sorry, Captain Tilton and everybody else. But Major Johnson, he's given me an insane amount of advice. He's been like the father figure here, I think, and a lot of people can probably agree with that. But he's kind of like who I aspire to be in the future. And he just gives, like, I know I can always go to him for some form of advice and get some just soft-spoken answer, and that's all I need some days.
My favorite cadre member is, I would have to say Sergeant Rowe, just because like his first year here was our first year here. He grew up with us. He's leaving now, so it's kind of like we're all graduating together. He's kind of part of our class, and it was really fun to see him grow, as well as seeing us grow and how we all kind of just, graduated college together.
And Sergeant Rowe, because he still scares me. Probably just the feeling I get when I pull off the interstate at that roundabout and you see like Peden Stadium and everything, and OU and Athens just gives you this feeling like, damn, I'm here. I mean, that's the way I felt on my first visit. So
the thing I'm going to miss most about OU, I'm going to miss you, Lily, the most about OU.
Miss OU, the Ridges, Strouds. Nah, I won't miss it.
What are you going to miss most about OU? The beautiful campus.
Honestly, my friends from OU the most. I didn't think I could create the type of bonds and friendships that I have created here. And it's funny because I don't really have any other friends outside of ROTC. And when I go home, all it is, it's ROTC, ROTC, ROTC all the time. So I'm definitely going to miss that because I'm not going to have anybody to talk to about that once I leave. And the people around here, everybody's so nice. You can't go wrong in Athens, Ohio.
I'm going to miss definitely my friends here at OU. Kind of sad to leave them and probably not see them ever again. So yeah, that's definitely what I'm going to miss.
What I'll miss most about OU, I've made some great relationships here. So I'll miss the people the most, absolutely, and I'm sure 14 people before me just said they'll miss the people. As cliche as it is, it's true. I also think I'm going to miss just the environment, the atmosphere, walking through College Green in the spring and seeing the leaves and all the, just nature around you. It's always beautiful.
What are you going to miss most about OU? Probably my friends. I've made a lot of really good friends. I came from a town where nobody came to OU besides me, so I didn't know anybody coming to OU, so that kind of made it a lot better for me trying to make friends, and I really did make a lot of them. I miss them a lot.
The people. Yeah, this place, I mean, it's cool, but it's nothing about the people. And mozzarella sticks from Sonic.
Not Slovaki's.
Oh, Slovaki's too. Yeah.
People and cheese sticks.
People and cheese sticks.
Okay.
No, I'm probably gonna miss the people. It's just like a different breed here. Everyone's like so nice and like even though you may not like someone, you still like respect them and like I don't know, everyone's just so friendly here at OU. Like going to other campuses, you just kind of don't get that.
What will I miss most about OU? My tribe, my home team, my best friends, Gage, Morgan, John. You guys are everything to me. You're my whole heart. It's going to be crazy not walking these bricks with you guys anymore. Just know that I love you guys no matter where we're at in the world. I've always got you. I know you've always got me. But yeah, I'm really going to miss you guys.
What are you going to miss most about OU? The social life. Absolutely, 100% the social life. You go anywhere else in the world and it's a completely different ballgame. It's just not the same.
What am I going to miss most about OU? The pigskin, obviously.
What are you gonna miss most about OU? I'm gonna miss the people, my friends. Come back and see them. Thankfully, I don't live too far away, but yeah.
What am I going to miss most about OU? Probably just the atmosphere and Isaac. So.
What am I going to miss most about OU? I'd say I'm going to kind of go with the cop-out answer and say that I'm going to miss the people the most. I really enjoy the people here and the friends that I've made, excluding my roommates this year because I hate them. But the rest of the people here I've really enjoyed. I've made friends out of ROTC and ROTC, and I definitely see lasting relationships coming out of college.
What are you going to miss most about OU? Honestly, probably the couches at our house, because I think I've fallen asleep on them, like watching TV or just hanging out. Same thing, probably 1,000 times. I think I've slept more on the couch than I have in my bed, and I know Colbert's selling them, so that's something I'll never be able to get back. Also the people, yeah, they're pretty good.
Hey seniors, I had a much more creative ways to say goodbye, but this is the best we can do right now. I'm not very tech savvy as it is, so here we go. It's been a long 4 years for most of you. I've watched you come in as freshmen. Been an honor to watch you grow for the last, all through each of your years here at Military Science and in school in general. And it's great to see you this past year run the battalion. You've done a great job. Looking forward to hearing about great things in the future. It sucks everything has to go out like this, but we're going to do what we can to get you back here to do this properly. But for now, I thank you for everything you've done for the last 4 years, especially this year, the highs and the lows. But it's been an honor watching you grow, and I'm hoping to hear, like I said, hoping to hear great things from you in the future. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's Lieutenant Colonel Amsdale. I just wanted to say thank you to the MS4s for their effort that they put forth this year. I understand that I've created a sense of urgency in this program that most folks were kind of unfamiliar with, but the MS4s really took the vision that I had, created their own vision, and at the end of the day, they can say that they left a legacy here at the Bobcat Battalion. So I look forward to seeing the MS4s out there in the force, future lieutenants leading with integrity, with drive, commitment, and at the end of the day, taking care of their soldiers. So as we embark on this next journey, soon to be swearing in as future lieutenants in the Army. I'll save most of my comments for then, but I appreciate all your help and your efforts, and the 3s, 2s, and 1s owe you a debt of gratitude for the work you put in. So I truly appreciate it, and go Bobcats.
Done.
Cut.